Hello everyone and welcome back to the repair bench once again. It is Friday, July the 31st, and I'm moving right into another repair. This is a video pinball, and I didn't really know much about this hardware at all, so first thing I did was I jumped on and I looked at some memory stuff. I looked at schematic a little bit, little hardware stuff, and I jumped on MAME and I pulled this game up in MAME, and I looked at the ROM folder in MAME for this, and this thing has 16 PROM chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's the software. That is the that's the program. It's contained in 16 of these guys. There were 3 versions of the of the software. There's the 16 PROM version, there's an 8 PROM version, and there's a 4 ROM version. These ROMs are 2716s. So what I'm going to do is I got to make a harness for this guy, and then we'll plug it in and do a power check. I might have to replace that guy right there. It's pretty common on these boards is that thing's no good. So first thing I'm going to do is build a harness, and then we're going to hook this thing up. I'm going to test power. That'll be first thing. And if we've got a decent 5 volts, I'll put the fluke on it and see if I can read all these guys. You know, see if these things see what's going on there, see if that's okay. But I looked at the back side of this thing. It's okay. I don't see no damage or nothing. There's just some work, but nothing alarming. So yeah, we're gonna venture into this video pinball, get this thing working. All right. First things first, I got to build a harness, so I will be back. Okay, I have just finished my harness. I plugged it in and I turned it on. I just went through and tested voltages, and all the voltages seem to be great. I got 4.93, I believe. Let's take a look. Let's hold that right there. I got 4.9392. That's good. And then up here I had my 22, and then here I had 12 on this cap. So my voltages are good. It's doing this. It's a sync issue. This might be my monitor. Let's see. I'm going to try to do a little adjusting on the monitor, and I might be able to just dial that in. Let me come back. I'm going to do that real quick. See if I can't get that to come in. Because I do have this running off of Nintendo power, 100 volts, so it kind of messes with it a little bit. So I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, I just messed around with the dials on the back a little bit, and it came in. It's just random garbage, a ton of garbage. But I see numbers, and then there's kind of scrolling garbage in there, but it's static garbage, so I'm going to put it into test, flip the test switch, and let's hit reset. Nothing. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna set the camera up on the tripod so that I can kind of mess around with this thing. Okay. So it is turned on. I'm gonna take it out of test. That doesn't do anything. Well, I got different garbage from doing that. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to reset this processor. Boy, that thing gets so hot. All the legs look okay, I guess. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Same exact garbage. So this thing isn't telling me anything when I put it into test. It doesn't do anything. Okay. Alright, my voltages are good. That's 12.42. This one is 22 volts, 23. And then it's dropped down. We got, I wonder if this sound amp, I wonder if this thing has negative 5 volts on it. I don't know. I'm not going to risk shorting anything out. 5 volts is good. 4.93 is good. .93. So let's go ahead and pop the fluke on this guy, and let's start testing out some of these 16 chips, these 16 prom chips. I'll print off some fluke info and we shall see what we see. Alright, I'm going to shut this guy off. I'm going to remove this guy. And I'm going to set this like this. I'll put my fluke right here. I wonder if the CPU's any good. You know what? For S's and G's, I'm going to put a new 6502 in it just to make sure it's not a bad 6502. Let's just eliminate that right off the get-go. Okay. Nope, same garbage. It's the same exact trash, so, okay. Let's shut her down, and I will put my CPU back in stock. Kind of dig and have a video pinball to work on. I kind of like this game. I like my friend Todd has one. He actually sold it to Jason Kopp. So he has it now. A video pinball that we got out of an arcade here in Michigan. Closed down. Video pinball. Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. It's pretty cool how it integrates video into it, and it's got all the lights, and it's really super cool. But yeah, let's get the fluke ready to go, and I'll put that on this thing, and we'll see what this baby's doing, or more importantly, what it's not doing. Alright guys, what I'm doing here is I've just turned the fluke on and kind of got it onto this thing, and I do a bus test, and it's telling me that data bit 5 is tied low, and I do not want to loop it. Data bit 5 is tied low. So I think what the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and replace this socket so I know I'm getting a better connection on this thing. Yeah, data bit 5 is tied low. That'd be a good place to start, is replacing that old CPU socket. So I think that's what I'm going to do first and foremost. So let me get at that. I'm going to shut this down. The data bit is tied low. Then if I still have a problem with the data bit being tied low after I replace the socket and make sure that that's clean, then I know I can move on from there. But right now, being that it's an old original socket for the CPU, I'm just going to go ahead right off the bat and replace that. So okay, be right back. Okie doke. New socket is in. I know it's clean. So let's go ahead and plug everything in that needs to be plugged in. Okay. And I don't like that touching that. So let's move that like that. That is in good. Pin 1. Okay, let's fire it up. Okay. Set up. And we're still, okay, bit 5 is still tied high. And I still got the garbage on the screen. Okay, data bit 5 is tied high. Well, how about that? Okay. I kind of need a schematic. Because there is some work that has been done here. Whoa, oh. Something has popped. What the hell popped? Something just popped and smoked. Data bit 0 is tied high. Now it's saying data bit 0 is tied high. Alright, I am going to see if I can find, I'm going to take this thing apart. I'm going to see if I can find, and by looking at something smoked. So I'm going to turn this off. Turn that off. Take that out. Move this stuff. Something popped and smoked. What was it? Ouch. I don't see any telltale signs of smokage. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to plug it in and go through some voltages again. Put the CPU back in it. Let's plug it back in. Okay. And let's fire it up. It's working. Why is it? If I put it into test, it gives me a code. Now it's not doing shit. This thing got a volume control on it? Because that's freaking annoying. What is this? That's about the most annoying thing ever. I got new garbage. You know, since I changed the CPU socket, I now have new garbage, which is interesting. I just want to check these powers out again because something smoked on here, and I don't know what. This was 20. Okay, still 23. This one was the 12 volts. Nope, that's ground. And it's still 12. 5 volts is still 493. So we're good. I have no idea. I wonder if my pod smoked. You think? Geez, that would suck, wouldn't it? No, it wasn't my pod. Oh, there's the volume. Yeah, this thing didn't smoke, thank God. No smoky smell on here. It was on here. It was on this board. It's definitely this board. I can smell it. but I don't know what it is. Man, that thing is so hot. Yeah, that's a... I don't know. Something definitely popped and smoked. But I don't know what. Maybe it was one of these little transistors. I'll have to look them over really good. I don't know. I don't see anything burnt at all. Okay, I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all that looks weird on here. So I'm gonna... Damn. I need to get memory map info. And this bit being tied nonsense has to be... If I got a data bit tied low, I might... One of these ROMs might be blown out low. You know, data bit 5 is tied low, it said. Now it's saying data bit 0 was tied low. I need to put the fluke back on the thing. And get it to tell me something. Oh shit. God, I hate these caps, man. I just grounded this freaking cap out. I hate these caps that stand up like this. They are short factories is all they are. They short everything out. Stupid ass things. Dee, dee, doo, dee. Okay. Yeah. It's just giving me random nonsense on the test. So I need to figure out what's going on with these data bits. I think what I'm going to do is I want to put the fluke back on it. And go through this thing and see exactly what it tells me again. As it told me something about a data bit. I didn't really... I freaked out when I saw that popping and that smoke. So I didn't really go through what it was telling me. So I'm going to re-hook it up and go back over it. Alright, I think I found what burnt. This edge connector, all of the silver is flaking off of it. I mean, it was flaking and shorting all through there, and I think this just burnt. Is what that smoke was, I believe. The other side's goofed up too. It's pulling up. Right there. So I'm going to have to repair that proper. and make sure that this is all just, I'm going to brush off all this loose stuff, you know, so yeah. That's a problem. So I'm going to fix this over here, and then yeah, it's both ground, so I can just wrap tape around it, so no big deal. Okay, and there is your fix on that. Just it's ground on both ends, so it's just copper tape wrapped around and soldered on both sides, and that will fix that. And I took and I brushed all of this stuff off that I could get off on both sides. Yeah, see, I got to go over this a little bit better. See that? So I'm going to brush this side a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, I'll be back. Well, guys, I have taken this whole board damn near apart because bit 5, data bit 5, was tied high. Well, I started down here with the ROMs. I removed all of these chips out of the board. Desoldered and removed. And I removed these sockets here. And I keep beeping. I'm tied to 5 volts here to the high rail. And I keep beeping data bit 5 every time I remove a chip. And I removed here, because these are data bit 5 right here. These guys right here are data bits 0 through 3. And it turns out to be this guy up here. And you know what pisses me off? Let me tell you what pisses me off about what I did. When everything was completely populated, I had it plugged in, and I went through and I touched every one of them. I put my fingers on every one of these chips. And when I got up to this guy right here, I remember I thinking, wow, that feels pretty hot for a 244. That was the damn chip that was bad. And I did all of this. But whatever. Anyway, I kind of wanted to not use these proms because some of them that were in one of them, this one right here has a broken leg. And I was kind of thinking about just combining, because MAME does not have the 20, and these are 2716s. It either uses 4 2716s or it uses a set of 16 proms, or it can use 8 proms, just depending on what kind of prom it is. So what I would have to do is 4 of these chips, one EEPROM, one 2716 would take the place of 4 of these guys. And it's a matter of putting the files together right. You have to take. Maybe I'll go over that. How, you know, with the schematic it's easier. It's hard for me to explain it really. These files are split up into 4-bit words from ranges 0 to 3FF. So what you would have to do is, and it's I forget, I don't know what I was going to say, but anyway, you would have to take bits 0 through 7 in the files, put it together, and that would actually suck, because you'd have to take, because if you look at a hex dump of a 4-bit file, it'll be like 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 5, 0A, 0B, 0, 0. It's always 0 and something. So you would have to combine those and you'd take the lower 4-bit and the upper 4-bit, and you would have to splice them together. It's really, I can't really explain it, but I could show you maybe. If I do it, I'll try to show you how I'm doing it. Because MAME does not have the EEPROM files. They only have the 16 PROM version. That's all they have of this game. So if I want to utilize the 4 EEPROMs, I'm going to have to splice those ROM files together. Which I'm probably going to do because it's just easier, I think. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know yet. But yeah, anyway, my bus test should pass now because this guy's out of the board. But now I have to put the board back together, so yay. Okay. Alrighty, guys, I'll be back. I'm going to call it. It's Friday. I'm kind of late. I'm going to call it a night. I'll be back at it tomorrow. Yeah, guys, this is that 244 in question. I've got one lead. I got it on continuity. I got one lead tied to the 5-volt line. Check this out. This thing is absolutely internally shorted out. Yeah. Yipper. Okay, and here is a progress update. I have replaced all of these ROM sockets. These are all of the high 4 bits of the ROM code. Bits 4, 5, 6, and 7. 8 of these ROMs are the 4 high bit, 8 of them are the 4 low bit. I didn't mess with the low bit ones. But you remember my fluke was telling me, at first it was telling me bit 5 was stuck high, and then it was telling me that bit 0 was tied high. I guarantee it's all because of this chip that was up here. I've replaced that guy. That one, and I replaced that one. I socketed and replaced this guy. That's like the LS245 alternative. And I replaced this guy, and then I had to go ahead and fix all of the legs that I clipped on these guys, which was no big deal. I just put new legs on. I put a new leg on this guy. This is one that had a broken leg to begin with. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this thing up and see what it does. What is it? What? What's your problem? You can hang out with me in here. I won't kick you out. Come on. Okay. Alrighty. So let's grab this guy, plug it in. These flakies are all good. Okay. And plug that in, plug this in. One last check, make sure everything's in the proper orientation. All of these ROMs are in the right way. Don't need to be snap, crackling, and popping anything. Okay. Kind of give these things a look over, make sure none of these are shorted. Okay. And just for fun, I'm going to hook this back up and make sure my voltages are still good. As soon as it's turned on, parts is right. Okay, hook this guy up here. Okay. And hook this guy up. We'll go 5 volts first. This is the 5-volt rail right here. Okay, we're good to go. Everything's in right. So let's do it. 4.92 volts still. That's good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, let's come over here. Oh, goody, goody, goody. Check that out. It's up on the screen. That's it, guys, right there. It's in some foreign language, so we'll have to check that out. But that's it. I'm going to cut away for a minute. I'm going to mess with the dip switches, find the dip switch settings. I'm going to mess with the monitor a little. It looks like it needs to shift a little bit. And we'll come back and see if we can't play this thing. Okay, I've gone and printed off the option switch settings, which are, let's see. Okay, on is up. So we want free play, on. It's on free play. English is 5 and 6 should be on. Wait a minute. Wait a second. 1 and 2 is on. 1 and 2 are on. Yeah. So let's set it to free play. 1, 2. 7 and 8 on is free play. English 6 and 5 need to be on. Okay. We're going to turn 4 off. Leave 4 off. That's 3 balls per player or 5 balls per. We're going to leave it at 3. 5 just seems too easy. Replay. Well, we'll leave that off. Extra ball is allowed. Okay. So this should be it. We should be in English now. I'm going to go ahead and fire up. It should be on free play. Oh, come on. I gotta mess with the horizontal hold again, because I messed with it and screwed it up. There it is. Yep. It looks like it's ready to go. I'm gonna take this guy over here. and I'm gonna mess around and see what we got going here. Huh. I guess I don't have this hooked up right. I don't know. Well, there's flipper. And that's nudge. Down is nudge. I thought I had my fire button mapped to, the plunger. I thought. Apparently I don't. Okay, I'll be back. Let me figure this out. Okay, guys, I'm looking at the plunger circuitry, and it basically is like a trackball board, is what it looks like to me. You got an optic coupler. You got two signals. You got plunger 1, plunger 2. And you have 5 volts and ground. And if you look in the manual, it looks just like an Atari football 4-inch trackball PCB. So I got my trackball. I made a little harness here for my trackball, but it does nothing. And I'm looking at this circuitry, and I'm wondering, because I'm getting nothing on 13 or 11 here. These two signals come in and they go to B6 right there. Pins 13 and 11 respectively. And I would imagine I'd see some toggling when I move the trackball, but I don't. It just stays high. So I'm kind of curious as to whether B6 is holding these signals high. I really don't know. But I'm going to clip B6 right out of the board. And then go back through and see if I'm getting toggling on where those pins would be. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut B6 right out of the board. It's just a 14. I'll replace it. No big deal. But yeah, I'm curious as to whether that's holding these signals high. Okay, I don't think that this trackball will work in this, because the trackball is an optical encoder, like a wheel. And this thing, the plunger, has a little flag that goes between those two spots. So I don't, and then the CPU calculates the time it takes for the flag to cross both of them. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think this works this way. I did replace, like in the schematic, this 14 here. I replaced this 14, and I replaced B7, this guy right here. So I've replaced this and this. Those are basically the two chips that are involved in that circuit right here. And I did not replace this guy here, but I don't think that has anything to do with it, because I'm still not getting any inputs on 13 or 11 from these two here. So I'm going to go ahead and, I did replace that and that, so I think we're good to go. I don't know. I can't test this plunger thing. But what I can do is I can coin the thing up, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and start. And I can do, this is flipper left, flipper right, nudge, watch the ball, it nudges up. See that? Okay. And that's about all, it's about all I can do with this thing, really, without having some kind of a rig to test things out with. I put it into test, and it says 28, which is just random. If you have the plunger, if you have the plunger, you can make that number move. But I don't know about Ouch. These little dots that are around there, I don't know about all that stuff. You know, I don't, this test is just kind of weird to me, but I've got it to this point. I'm going to call it good. You know, yeah, so I'm just going to call this thing good at this point. Because I can't really test it any further, to be honest. Not that I know of. So I'll look over the manual, and if I see anything where I'm like, wow, I can look at that, you know, then I will. But as for now, I'm thinking we're good. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, and peace out. Have a great one.